Everyone in Ajani's village believed his life was already decided for him. Born poor, raised poor, destined to die poor. But life has a way of taking everything from you so you can discover what you're truly capable of. For Ajani, that lesson began on the night he lost everything. The night he realized that thinking small was the most dangerous poverty of all. Ajani grew up in a small, dusty village on the edge of a forgotten town. His father was a palm wine tapper. His mother sold firewood by the roadside. His siblings were too young to work, so Ajani became the man of the house at just 13. He didn't have a dream. He didn't even understand what dreaming big meant. Every morning, while other children walked to school, Ajani walked miles to fetch water and sell oranges on the roadside. He watched men in fine clothes drive past in shiny cars, and for a moment he would stop and stare. But then reality would slap him back. That life is not for people like you, the villagers always said. So Ajani accepted his fate. No ambitions, no goals, just survival. By 18, he had moved to the city, hoping life would be different. But the city was even harsher. He lived in a wooden shack with a leaking roof, shared with 6 strangers. Every day he did menial jobs, carrying blocks at construction sites, washing cars, offloading trucks, sleeping hungry, begging contractors for pay, sending half of his small earnings home. And every night he asked the same tired question: is this all my life will ever be? But he didn't change. He didn't grow. He didn't dare to think differently, until the night everything fell apart. One evening, after a long day of carrying cement blocks, Ajani rushed home to rest. As he approached his shack, he saw smoke. At first, he thought someone was cooking, but the closer he got, the faster his legs moved. His home, his clothes, his savings, his food was gone, burned to ashes in a small electrical fire. He stood there staring at the smoke, trembling. All his hard work, all his struggles, all his sacrifice, gone in one night. He fell to his knees and cried like a child. People walked past him, shaking their heads. But something unexpected happened while he knelt there, broken. An older woman, a food seller who had watched Ajani for months, came to him. She put her hand on his shoulder and said, "My son, life did not burn your future. It only burned the excuses you've been hiding behind." He looked up, confused. She continued, "You are not poor because you have nothing. You are poor because you think like you have nothing. If you don't change your thinking, life will keep burning everything you touch." Those words hit deeper than any hardship he had ever faced for the first time in his entire life. Ajani realized he had been living small, thinking small, and expecting small. That night, sleeping on the bare ground outside the ruins of his shack, he whispered to himself, "This cannot be the end of my story." The next morning, Ajani walked to the construction site, not for work, but to ask a question. He approached the site engineer, a man he always feared speaking to. "Sir, what does it take to become someone like you?" Ajani asked. The man laughed first, then became serious. "You need skills, you need knowledge, you need courage. But most importantly, you need to stop thinking like a laborer." The man handed him a torn old book about basic carpentry and design. "Start learning something, anything. If you keep thinking you're only meant to carry blocks, that's all you will ever do." Ajani took the book home as if it were treasure. Each night after work, he studied. He learned measurements, he learned tools, he learned discipline, and slowly something inside him began to grow. Ajani spent months learning, but life didn't suddenly become easy. He still struggled. He slept on floors, he ate once a day. He was mocked for trying to act big. He was rejected by contractors. He failed small jobs. He made mistakes that cost him money. He doubted himself. But each failure taught him something new. He wasn't thinking big yet, but he was thinking better. One day, a contractor noticed his dedication and offered him a chance to assist real carpenters. This was the beginning of something. Ajani worked harder than anyone else. He arrived first, left last, took notes, asked questions. Months passed. He eventually became skilled enough to take small furniture jobs, then bigger jobs. Then he started saving money. Piece by piece, his confidence grew. The real transformation came during a large building project. Ajani watched the owner, a calm, confident businessman, inspect the site. The man's clothes, manner, voice, and presence were different from anything Ajani had ever seen. At the end of the day, Ajani gathered the courage to approach him. "Sir, how did you become successful?" The man smiled. "I became successful the day I stopped thinking about what I didn't have and started thinking about what I could become." That night, Ajani finally understood he had been upgrading his skills, but he had not upgraded his mind. So he wrote a new goal in an old notebook: start my own company. Ajani didn't just write "start my own company" in his notebook. He acted on it, but the beginning wasn't smooth. At first, nobody trusted a young carpenter with no shop, no office, no big connections. He walked from site to site with only his tools and determination. Some clients insulted his prices. Others refused to pay him after work. Sometimes he finished a job and went home with nothing but sweat. But Ajani kept building. Job after job, mistake after mistake, lesson after lesson. Soon people realized something about him. Ajani didn't just make furniture, he made excellence. Every piece he built had his soul in it, and slowly his name began to spread. One contractor recommended him, then another, then a building company hired him for a big project. That project changed everything. Ajani used the money to rent a small workshop, the first space he could call his own. He didn't stop there. He hired 2 young boys from his village who were struggling just like he once was. Months passed. His workshop turned into a business. His business turned into a company. His company turned into a name people respected. And when he finally made enough money, he did the one thing he had dreamed about since childhood. He brought his family from the village to the city. He built a proper house for his mother. He sent his siblings to school. He gave his father tools and a small shop so he would never struggle again. One evening, standing outside his expanding company, Ajani realized something. Thinking big didn't make life easier. It made me stronger. All the struggles, failures, hunger, and heartbreak had shaped him. Thinking big didn't give him a miracle. It gave him direction. It gave him courage. It gave him identity. And that mindset transformed a poor village boy into a man who built his own future from nothing. If you believe in thinking big too, join us and subscribe to the channel.